All set? Everybody's good? Here we go. Good afternoon. I'm Kevin Smignato. I'm the Cumberland County Administrator. I have a brief statement to go over, and then we'll do some. I'll introduce the rest of the team. In fact, I'll introduce first. We have our gentleman over here from OEM. And we have the sheriff, Mike Donato, Dawn Bowen, who's our Director of Emergency Services. We have from Upper Deerfield Township and the sheriff. We have Tom Speranza. We have Mike Speranza from the Sheriff's Department. We have Rob Strain from the City of Vineland and the county, and then we have Andrew Hartley from Gloucester County Hazmat. I'll just briefly read the statement. Just before 1:30 today, Cumberland County Communications began receiving phone calls via 911 for a reported commercial building explosion with a hazmat release and possible injuries at Seabrook Brothers and Sons, located here at 85 Findlay Road in Upper Deerfield Township in Cumberland County. Emergency crews arrived on the location and performed a rapid assessment of the situation and determined a portion of the building had collapsed and there was a minor release of anhydrous ammonia. Crews immediately performed a search of the building and were able to assist 2 employees from the building. Additional emergency resources in the form of hazmat units, search and rescue teams, and EMS were added to the assignment. After a rigorous search effort, it was confirmed that there were no casualties remaining in the building. 1 employee was assessed with minor injuries and refused medical treatment and transport. A 2nd employee was later evaluated and transported to a local medical center for evaluation and treatment. Subsequently, there was also 1 emergency responder transported to the local medical center for possible heat-related illness. Hazmat crews have continued to monitor the release of anhydrous ammonia and have determined that the levels of ammonia released are minimal. There is no hazard or threat to the community at this time. Hazmat crews are continuing to work with facility staff to completely isolate any remaining problems. If the incident continues to progress in a positive manner, we expect crews to begin demobilizing resources shortly. Do we have any questions?
How many employees were in the facility warehouse?
Approximately 150.
Wait, say that again. What, 150 were inside when this happened?
We're inside, yes.
Could you explain what part of the facility this is where the collapse occurred? What happens inside that section of the facility?
Processing.
It was a production facility for food processing. It was a production facility for food processing, fruits and vegetables.
That's where the
collapse took place.
Can you talk a little bit about the operations that go on in the building, just so folks understand what type of business it is?
Basically, this is a facility that processes fruits, vegetables, and things, and then they freeze them, which is what the ammonia is used for, freezing of those food products, and then it's shipped out.
We're investigating. Where's the investigation right now?
Hasn't even begun yet.
Has not begun. Has not begun at this point.
There was initially a report of an explosion, and then collapsed. What do you know about what transpired? Was there an explosion? Was there something else that facilitated the collapse?
To the best of our knowledge, no explosion. The assumption was because of the way the building, sank and fell.
Kevin,
At this point, you don't know what caused it.
correct.
Not at this time.
Kevin, I mean, if you think about this, you have 150 people inside. You have what looks like could have been potentially a bad situation happen. You have 2 people you guys assess. I mean, can you kind of put it in context for viewers of like, this has to be a best case scenario.
Oh, absolutely. It's the outcome's exactly what, at best, I would say, at best, it could not have been any better in our side. So everything seems to be working well.
I believe the one was a twisted ankle, possibly.
Possibly
It happened outside of the
possibly
building.
a sprained ankle, twisted ankle, minimal of anything.
Did employees like if there was an initial collapse or did employees leave the building prior to what we're seeing right now from the air, or like what can you walk us through what that looked like?
I don't really know. We really don't
wouldn't
have
know
that
that
answer. We wouldn't know. We wouldn't know.
When
we
emergency
got it.
services arrived, the building had been primarily evacuated with the exception of possibly one person. That's why we went in and searched. We were unable to locate anybody, and after the management conducted their own...
Sir, so I'm so sorry. Do you mind stepping to the microphone and talking about this?
So the initial report stated that there was one possible trapped occupant in the building. After our initial searches, we did not find anybody. By the time we completed all of them, management had conducted their own assessments and reached out directly to all of their employees that were on site today and confirmed that they were all accounted for and there were no missing people inside the building.
Could you tell us what were employees evacuated before the collapse of the building?
I have no idea. Employees were evacuated prior to fire department's arrival, but what happened prior to us getting here, I could not answer.
You said there was a first responder who was injured? Yes.
Yes, possible heat exhaustion.
Just since the investigation hasn't begun yet, what exactly, if you can give us any details of what are you guys doing right now? Since there is no investigation going on right now about the collapse.
So currently crews are in the process of still assessing the hazardous materials release. Right now that is our primary concern. We had structural collapse specialists from Camden County respond down. They actually assessed the building. They used technical equipment to verify that the building was not shifting, was not moving, that there was no further concern of collapse at this time. So at this point, we're just simply monitoring to make sure that the levels of the ammonia that have been released are continuing to lower, eventually towards stabilization, and we're working with the facility staff to ensure that that continues in a positive fashion.
So the proper way to name this, to call this is a structural collapse, not an explosion.
Without speaking out of turn, yes, we believe that this was a structural collapse that contributed to the ammonia release. We do not have reason to believe that there was an explosion, but that's still part of the investigative process.
So, just to be clear, was the ammonia already leaking, or did the collapse cause the ammonia?
Do you want to speak on the initial call? No. I think with that speculation at this time, we really don't have that information to confirm for you guys.
So operations have ceased ever since everyone was evacuated. Are they going to continue at any point today or tomorrow, or will it just be stopped for now?
So for right now, operations are kind of stopped. We are continuing to monitor the air quality and make sure that the anhydrous ammonia is back down to safe levels. But once that's accomplished, we will be demobilizing and the scene will be turned back over to management. At that time, it'll be their responsibility to do any cleanup or any further actions that are necessary for their business. That's not an emergency situation at that point in time.
With ammonia and the heat, or the ammonia leak and the heat, that can be a dangerous combination right there. What's happening inside to maybe air that out?
So fortunately, there's a nice breeze today that is blowing it away on its own. So we're not concerned about that at this time.
When the collapse happened, were people under the collapse?
We have no idea. We weren't here.
Because they had already evacuated.
Yes.
You're not sure.
Yeah.
Sorry if you already went over this. Will there be an investigation into the cause of the collapse, and if so, who will lead that?
I would assume that's a construction official and law enforcement, just to be sure.
Any other questions? We're good?
So what time did this happen? At the beginning?
Around 1:30.
About 1:30. 1:30 this afternoon.
How many different counties are here for this event?
It's Cumberland, Salem, Gloucester, Camden.
That's it.
Yeah, four.
Oh, and Atlantic.
And Atlantic.
Five.
Five.
We saw a bunch of engines leave before these came and all that. That's a good sign.
Absolutely, it's a very good sign. Very good sign. All right.
Do you have an idea of how long you guys might be here?
No.
Like hours or?
No idea.
Anybody need spellings on anybody's name who was speaking?
Yeah.
That's Keith Stomps. Keith Stomps.
Can you just
S-T-O-M.
And the mic?
Yeah, can
Yep.
you just say them into the mics?
Hey,
that way
Keith. Come over to the mic and do all that. Then
We're
everybody
going
has.
back to the station. Our producers will just get
Yeah, my name is Keith Stoms. I'm the chief of Upper Deerfield Fire Company number 1.
And can you spell that real quick?
STOMS.
Battalion Chief Robert Strain, City of Vineland Fire Department. Last name is STRAIN.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks for the stand, man.
Yeah, I'll keep looking out, son.